President-elect Donald Trump nominated Vivek Ramaswamy to co-lead a new Department of Government Efficiency. Mr. Ramaswamy appeared on Book TV's Afterwards program in 2022. Here's a portion of the interview.
And my parents were immigrants from India. My dad came over in the late 70s, my mom in the early 80s. It's funny, side story. We used to ask my dad, why did you come halfway across the world to Cincinnati, Ohio, of all places? And he said that actually his sister had come over from India to Fort Wayne, Indiana, which of course then prompted us to ask him why she came halfway across the world to Fort Wayne, Indiana. And the joke we tell in our family is it's the only US state with the word India contained in the name of the state. So anyway, that's the joke we tell. But we were born and raised in Ohio. My parents didn't come from much money, but they did have an education, and that's one of the valuable things they gave us. I went to public schools through 8th grade, went to a private Catholic high school, even though I'm not Catholic, graduated in 2003. 9/11 took place when I was in high school. It's something that really shaped my own worldview as a young American. I then went to Harvard. We didn't overlap there, but I did take the class that I believe you teach now, Economics 10, among others, though I was a biology major. I studied molecular biology. I was mostly a nerdy science guy through college. And then when I graduated, I actually got into the world of biotech investing in the fall of 2007, just before the 2008 financial crisis, which I will say also dramatically shaped my views of not only capitalism, but the merger of capitalism and politics, one of the core themes in the book. Anyway, I did that for several years. I did it for 7 years. 3 years in, I actually told my bosses that I was going to leave and go to Yale Law School because I had this itch at the intersection of law and political philosophy that I had never fully scratched. Turns out that actually got me some career mobility instead. They said you could manage a portfolio for us, go do it from Yale. So that's what I did. And I spent 3 years there, met my wife, probably the most productive thing that came out of it. She was my next door neighbor. In med school she was. But anyway, when I graduated, I came back to my job as an investor and realized that I was much more interested in getting hands-on involved in addressing some of the inefficiencies in pharma that I couldn't address as a bystander, as an investor. So I left my job as an investor this time for real and started a biotech company called Roivant, which I built from 2014 to 2021. I served for 7 years as the company's CEO. I stepped down this January to give myself the latitude to really speak freely in an uninhibited way in not only rolling out this book, but addressing some of the contentious issues that I'm now speaking openly about as a citizen. And suffice to say that having built a company was a challenge, probably the most gratifying thing I've done in my professional career. But I did step down because I felt that I, A, needed to speak freely in a way that didn't harm the company, but B, also needed to exercise some of my own civic duty in putting a spotlight on what I have seen behind closed doors in elite America over the last 15 years. I wasn't born into elite America, but I have lived it for the last decade and a half. And some of the things that I learned, I think, were experiences and insights and perspectives that I felt I needed to share to be able to shape the conversation about where we go as a people from here. And I think that's what's at stake at the heart of this discussion about the relationship between capitalism and democracy.
And the full program is available to watch online at booktv.org.